What's good, boys? It's 11:15 at night. I gotta be up at 5 a.m. tomorrow, but I'm still making this video because of how important I need to energy transfer this to all of you guys who are currently going through derealization. Because if I had this 2 years ago when I was in the depths of derealization, I'm talking the core of my derealization, I would have recovered so much quicker. You know, this truly changed my life. This mindset, this perspective, this outlook on life was something I needed, and you guys will need this when it comes to your recovery. This is the mindset, this is the person you have to become in order to recover. Because it's not about how you recover. No. It's about the person you have to become in order to recover. And I really want to explain this to all of you guys, because you have to become a different person to recover from derealization. You can't just become the version of yourself before derealization in order to recover. You have to become the version of yourself who has already been through derealization, who has had to overcome all that adversity, that person who has had to push through the pain, through the struggle, through the times where he thought he was losing his mind and got past it, and has all that discipline, motivation that he learned from that struggle. That's the version of yourself you have to become. You can't just become and act like the version that you were. You have to genuinely morph yourself into that identity of the person that has already recovered. The thing is, when you go through something like derealization, you feel disconnected from your body, you feel like you're not even like yourself. There's so many symptoms you could go through, and truthfully, I thought I was the only person that was going through what I was experiencing. And the level of discomfort, the level of pain, the level of suffering I went through mentally during this time was indescribable. It was something that I just couldn't put into words. And I remember trying to explain it to people and stuff, and I was so misunderstood. But that is where you're sculpted. That's where you're created. That's where you're built into someone that can change, that can better their life, that can morph themselves into a better reality for themselves. And a lot of times when people try to, change, they go back to their old ways. They go back to acting and living like their normal self, which they think is going to help them recover. They think it's going to tell their nervous system that they're safe and that there's not a problem. But what it's doing is it's holding yourself to this low standard. It's holding yourself to this lack. The version of yourself that has recovered is a version of yourself that doesn't miss. If it wasn't for me going through derealization, I wouldn't have built the person I am today. I wouldn't have sculpted myself into this person who doesn't miss. I've had crazy amounts of discipline the last year or so that I wouldn't even be able to comprehend before I went through derealization. So when I tell you to become someone, it's not just become a one of one. If you watch my Instagram, you see on my stories, every single solitary day it says, I wake up motivated, I am a one of one. Because I know how to start my fucking day. And every single day I wake up with this mindset that I am a one of one. But when I tell you guys to be a one of one, don't be a one of one. Be a one of zero. Because prove to the version of yourself right now, someone that the version of yourself now can't even comprehend. Someone that the version of yourself before derealization can't even comprehend. That is where true recovery comes from. It comes from when you can anchor in the vision of the man you are becoming, not the man that you were. It means when you can look at this derealization from perspective, of this is happening for me, not to me. That this is building me and sculpting me, not just happening to me. Because truthfully, if it wasn't for this struggle, if it wasn't for this one thing, this is the only thing God could have given me that would have gotten me to quit weed, quit porn, quit nicotine, quit Adderall, quit lusting, quit everything that was holding me back. I quit everything. I dropped it all at once. And I made a promise with God. I was like, I'm never going to turn back. I'm never going to take my life for granted again until I feel free again. And I will never go back to that lifestyle, because I know what it was like to be in that trap. I know what it's like to fall short in life, to feel like I was a slave to my mind, to feel like I was never going to come back to reality, to feel like I was behind a glass wall. It was the worst feeling ever. But during this time, over the last year, I went on semen retention for 200 some days. Didn't even give in to any lust. I was so locked in on my goals. I never missed a workout. I never missed a meal. I will go to bed at 3 a.m. if I have to, just to accomplish my goals and get closer towards my goals. I will do whatever it takes, all because of what I went through, all because of the pain I had to go through during this time, all because of the struggle that I went through during derealization. So what I want to get out to you guys is start to look at your derealization with the perspective of saying, this is happening for me. This was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Because during this time, I was created, I was built, I was sculpted into this version of myself. I was founded during this time. And what the version of yourself you need to start acting like is the version of yourself who was sculpted. The version of yourself who already went through it. Because when you can start to shift your identity from the version of you that you once were to the version of you you need to become, that's when you'll start to become that person who is recovered. The problem with so many people is they wake up and they tell themselves that they're not that person. They tell themselves that they're in derealization. They tell themselves they have this mental disorder that they think they have, that doctors don't even understand, that they don't even understand. But truthfully, you don't have any of this. You don't have any of these things. What you have is a limiting belief about who you are and about who you've been. You can become any person in this world that you want to be when you can make the decision that you are a winner, that you can anchor in the vision that you are that person who has already recovered. So next time you wake up, I want you to wake up, get in that cold shower, do your 50 push-ups, make your bed, hydrate, and start your day with the intention of, I am a winner. Nothing can stop me because my purpose comes before everything. And when you are so anchored in on your vision, so anchored in on your purpose, derealization holds no place in your life. It means nothing. It has no meaning. It has no power. And I talk about the school bullying analogy so often. It's when you stop giving it power, it completely vanishes. It goes away. It disappears from your life. When you can stop giving derealization power, you will notice a crazy change within your life. You will notice that it vanishes. You don't even notice it anymore because your purpose is so anchored into your vision. That's all you care about. The reason I recovered is because I started doing fitness coaching. I was changing lives every day. I had greater goals besides this anxiety feedback loop to focus on. And I started to realize that I could still accomplish these endeavors. I flew to Miami at the age of 18 by myself, meeting the top guys in the fitness industry while I was in peak derealization. If that isn't doing something while I'm in this state, I don't know what is. That proves that you can still do whatever even though you're in this state. And what happens when you do whatever while you're in the state, you prove to yourself that you can do whatever you want with this. When you can have the mindset of, oh, I can have this for the rest of my life and still be okay and still feel fulfilled and still be able to do whatever I would regardless, it holds no power and it goes away. So wake up today. Wake up today. 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever time you wake up. And get your ass out of bed and say that you are a winner. Hold this ideology to your head. I want to tell you guys one of the craziest things that I figured out that changed my life forever. It's called autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is how your brain perceives who you are by the last, let's say, 30 actions you take. Just by all the actions you take, it combines them and holds yourself to this identity. When you can make every single action you do literally with 100% intention. So when you wash dishes, that last dish, every single dish, perfectly washed, put away. It sounds ridiculous, but when you can do everything to this ideology of pure excellence, every single time you're running, that last mile, 100%, boom. Every single time you're working out, that last rep, 100%. When you can hold yourself to this standard, your brain will start to hold yourself to this ideology that you are a fucking killer and that nothing can stop you. Your confidence level will be so unbelievably high because of, the actions you're taking. Action equals confidence. And guess what confidence equals? It equals recovery because it's telling your nervous system that you are safe. These are all the things you need to hold yourself to. The standard you need to hold yourself to is, I am nothing less than a winner. I am nothing less than someone who has already recovered. I am that person who is recovered now. I already broke that feedback loop. I am no longer a slave to my brain. I am no longer living as the effect to things in my life. I am the cause. When you can anchor that vision in, you will win. You will be the winner. So, it's going to be midnight tonight. I'm going to go to bed probably at 1 o'clock, wake up at 5, get 4 hours of sleep tonight, but I'm still going to wake up. I'm not going to tell myself, oh, I'm going to fall back into derealization anxiety. I'm not going to tell myself, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to tell myself what I want to be in the morning. When I wake up, I'm going to tell myself that I'm the shit. I'm going to tell myself that I am greater than any of the things the devil puts into our life, like derealization. And the truth is, God let you go through this because he needed to develop you. A lot of times we can't see the path that God set out for us. So he intentionally gave us pain. He intentionally gave us struggle. So we have to be sculpted into the version of ourselves who can see our true endeavor, who can see our true purpose. And if you weren't to go through this, a lot of times you would have been going down a path of mediocrity. So I use this struggle, I use this pain, I use this hardship to be the greatest thing that's happened to me. I weaponized it and used it for greater success. I look at my life today and I am so happy, I'm so grateful for the ability to accomplish whatever I want, for the ability to have this ambition, dude, for the ability to have this physique, to have this beautiful life in front of me every single day. Like, I am that much more thankful because of the stress, because of the pain I went through. And that's the vision we need to have. That's the person you need to become. You need to become the version of yourself who's already recovered, not the version you were before. So, waking up early tomorrow. I hope you guys do the same. I hope you guys are up and ready. I hope you guys are here to win. I hope you guys are that person that's already recovered. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, the link's going to be in the bio of this video, because I post so much value on there. You can connect with me on there, DM me. But I'm looking to change every single one of you guys' lives, and we are all in this together. We are all here for a full recovery. Recovery is 100% possible. It's inevitable, actually. You guys all will recover, and the fact that you're watching this video shows that you have the ambition too. So I'll catch you boys in the next video. Peace. Stay killing, stay motivated, stay on top, and stay winning. I'll catch you boys.